A quick update on Sean Diddy Combs, who is still locked up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn. Diddy was arrested on September 16th after pleading not guilty on several charges. Those charges include sex trafficking, racketeering, and transportation to engage in prostitution. So far, he's been denied bail twice. Some are wondering if he's getting special treatment while in jail. Well, reports indicate he's being treated just like any other inmate. He's been able to talk to his kids on the phone a few times. He's concerned, they say, about how they're doing. Meanwhile, reports indicate that his family and also his kids are still very much in shock that he was arrested. Combs, as we know, is a powerful music executive who was accused of forcing women into engaging in sex acts. His arrest, of course, sending shockwaves to the entertainment world. Here's what's next for Combs. There will be several conference hearings and also check-ins with the judge, but a trial date so far has not been set.
A House committee warns that China is exploiting U.S. research funding for its own military gains. The new report found that more than 2,000 research papers published in the past decade indicate researchers who got U.S. federal funding worked with Chinese researchers, which led to advances in China's military technology. The Biden-Harris administration is proposing a ban this morning on Chinese and Russian tech in cars on U.S. roadways. It would be phased in over the next several years. And the main concern here is that the computer systems and connected vehicles can gather driver and passenger information, detailed information about American infrastructure, and being remotely controlled by foreign adversaries. Coming up in our next half hour, on alert, we are tracking a storm gaining strength very quickly. It's headed right up the Gulf of Mexico. How states are getting ready and preparing. Also, fading fast, the new research that could give some lawmakers or job seekers rather pause about taking that remote job. But first, here's a look at America's news and weather where you live this morning.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. We have more pleasant weather on tap for today. Look for a lot of sunshine in the Northeast. That's about, 7 o'clock in the morning. Notice there are some more clouds and there are some showers developing over western parts of New York during the course of the afternoon here. That's about 2 o'clock or so. We should be topping out in the 60s and low 70s. There's a chance for a few showers on Wednesday. Expect a lot of clouds midweek. Any steady rainfall should hold off until Thursday.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Jabali. Here's a look at the mid-Atlantic region. More clouds and dreary conditions for your Tuesday. We'll see some patchy areas of light showers or drizzle to start. Later in the afternoon, we could see some heavier bands of rainfall. And once again on your Wednesday, still cloudy with rainfall more likely. Temperatures will be stepping upward through the next couple of days as well. Highs will be in the upper 60s, maybe the low 70s on Tuesday afternoon, but we should be a few degrees warmer with everyone in the 70s by Wednesday.
I'm meteorologist Charlotte Carl. Here is a look at your high temperatures for this afternoon. We're dealing with the low in mid 80s up in the further northern portions of our area, and then low 90s everywhere else. We'll have a frontal boundary make its way through the northwestern portions of Mississippi, Alabama, and even into northern Georgia. However, the main thing that we are talking about is this tropical system moving through the area, most likely to make landfall somewhere in the Big Bend of Florida later in the week.
Hello, I'm meteorologist Sarah Converse. We have a low pressure system tracking through the Midwest, bringing in rain showers and thunderstorms and even the threat for severe weather along the Ohio River Valley. Winds, potentially even some isolated tornadoes possible. Temperatures will be in the 70s. And then for tonight, drying things out as that cold front moves out, will be in the 40s to the plains and 60s closer to the Ohio River Valley.
Good morning. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Things are downright nice all the way from Oklahoma City back over to El Paso. Little rain for Little Rock. It's warm and humid all the way down across the southern part of the region. Very weak stationary front will slide a little bit back up to the north. We'll see sea breeze showers and scattered rain out across East Texas and into Louisiana. Temperatures will stay cool up north, but boy, will really warm up down south. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi there, everybody, and a happy Tuesday to you. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Beautiful September weather out west. Look at the 70s along the coastline of California, 80s in the interior, including in the Treasure Valley of Boise, Idaho. Phoenix, you're back into the heat. 106 there in the Valley of the Sun today, but really pretty quiet all the way through the west, Four Corners all the way up to the PNW, looking sunshiny as we head into our Tuesday. And that's the scene from here.
You're watching the National News Desk, America's News Now.
Now on the National News Desk, America's News Now, dangerous deployment. The Pentagon is sending American troops overseas as fighting between Israel and Iran terror groups hits a breaking point. Undercount concerns the problem with polling and why Democrats are now concerned that Trump may have more support than polls actually show. And landfall looming, Gulf Coast states declaring emergencies this morning while preparing for yet another dangerous hurricane. A look at the forecast track and who is most at risk. Thank you for joining us. You are watching the National News Desk, America's News Now. I'm Mark Boyle in for Jan Jeffcoat this morning. It is Tuesday, September 24th, and we are just a few weeks away, or a few days rather, from the next tropical system making landfall. But some of the states on the Gulf Coast are not taking any chances. Angela Brown right now at the live desk tracking the storm. Angela, this could be one of the biggest storms of the season.
Yeah, that's what we're hearing. This appears to be a storm that could turn into a very powerful hurricane within days. Florida and other Gulf Coast states are bracing at this point for possible impact as the storm is only getting stronger. It could become, though, the most powerful storm once again to hit the U.S. this hurricane season. Now, to my left over here, we have a live look over Jacksonville, Florida. You can see it right here in the path of the latest forecast models. And then right here behind me, we have a live look at the National Desk radar. The state of Florida already under tropical storm watches and also warnings. Governor Ron DeSantis already issued a state of emergency. You see it right here for 41 counties. Now, these areas are facing major flooding, possibly, and also the chance of also losing power for some folks. Officials caution not to take these warnings lightly.
The greatest killer of future hurricanes is past hurricanes. And what that means is exactly what you've said. I've stayed through a Cat 4. There's no way I'm leaving for a Cat 2. It doesn't matter the category of the storm. It matters what the expected local impacts are. So you can have a fast-moving Cat 1 that's disorganized, that blows through an area and doesn't cause a whole lot of damage. And you can have a slow-moving tropical storm that can sit on an area and drop tens upon tens of inches of rain and cause billions of dollars in damage.
The National Hurricane Center is expected to name Tropical Cyclone 9 Helene in the coming days. It's expected to make landfall in just a few days, as early as Thursday possibly. And it could come in as a Cat 2 storm gaining momentum in the Gulf of Mexico. We're keeping an eye on all that as well as a few other tropical developments on top of that right here at the live desk all morning long. And you can also find more information online all the time at the National Weather Desk. That's part of the nationaldesk.com.
Developing this morning, a new concern for American military families. More American troops are being deployed to the Middle East, but the Pentagon did not say how many. It said this is for operational security. At least some of the troops are expected to be from the Navy. The USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier was deployed yesterday. They will join the 40,000 American troops already in that region. And meanwhile, on the ground in the Middle East, Israeli forces hit more Hezbollah terror targets in southern Lebanon overnight. Over the past few days, Israel has been asking Lebanese civilians to leave, making more than 80,000 phone calls to civilians who live there to get out.
Let me be clear. Hezbollah is responsible for this situation. This is Hezbollah's plan to turn southern Lebanon into a battlefield for its attacks on Israel. We cannot accept terrorist groups storing weapons inside people's homes, using them to fire at other civilian communities.
So far, Israel said it has hit more than 1,600 targets. Lebanon's health ministry claims the strikes have killed more than 550 people. Turning now to the election and some welcome news for former President Donald Trump in the Sun Belt states. New polling from the New York Times shows Trump is up by 2 points in North Carolina, 4 points in Georgia, and 5 points out west in Arizona. This data comes just after a separate poll out of Pennsylvania showed Vice President Harris leading Trump in the state by 5 points. Pennsylvania has 19 electoral college votes, and both campaigns believe it is a must-win state. At the same time, some Senate Democrats are raising concerns over the slim lead Harris has in Pennsylvania. They are very worried that pollsters are once again undercounting the Trump vote. Democratic Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman told The Hill that polling has been seriously damaged since 2016, and he thinks Trump is going to be much harder to beat than expected. Meantime, former President Trump is slamming a Nebraska state senator who is opposing an electoral college change that could make it easier for Trump to win the election. Over the past several months, Republicans there have tried to make Nebraska a winner-take-all state. Right now, Nebraska awards 2 electoral college votes to the winner of the statewide vote. then one vote to the winner of each congressional district. Republican Congressman Mike Flood is one of the lawmakers that supported this change.
For 125 years, Nebraska was a winner-take-all state. A Democratic effort led in 1992 with a Democratic governor changed it to this apportioned plan. And the idea was in 1992 that states like California would start sharing some of their red electoral votes with the Electoral College, and states like New York would do that. But the experiment failed. So for 20 years, we have been working to put it back to winner-take-all. This seemed to present one of the best opportunities to do it because it is what a majority of Nebraskans want.
If the change is made, it could have a real impact on the Electoral College and possibly even a tie. Take a look at this. The Washington Post released a hypothetical graphic showing a tie at 269 to 269. In this case, Trump wins all of Nebraska and the Sun Belt, but loses the Rust Belt states. It would be up to the House of Representatives to decide the election winner, which of course is a Republican majority as of right now. New this morning, the end of an era for budget shopping. Discount retailer Kmart announced it is closing its last remaining store, full-size store in the United States. The Bridgehampton, New York location is set to close soon, October 20th. Over the past decade, the chain has struggled to keep up with rising costs and competition from other retailers. The job market is also going through some major change with people working from remote, but some working from remote could actually stunt your career growth, some say. New research suggests that could exactly be the case. The National News Desk, Janae Bowens, has details.
Working from home has a lot of benefits.
I don't understand why I go into the office anyway, because a lot of my work can be done remote.
I'm more productive at home, but as far as like learning goes, I'm not learning as much as I would on my own than I would with my peers.
But it turns out there are disadvantages too. 86% of CEOs say they will reward employees who make an effort to come in with favorable assignments, raises, or promotions. That's according to professional services network KPMG.
It shows that an employee is more dedicated when they actually come into the office. And that means during normal business time. What we're seeing is people that are coffee badging, where they just come in a couple hours late, say hello to everybody, and then leave early. And that's obviously not a very productive employee.
Maya Ratcliffe is the CEO and founder of the franchise entity Hawaii Fluid Art. She says having her employees in the studio or the office allows for easier access.
I think that people that are considering going back into office need to think about the benefits, the camaraderie, the friendships, the amount of work that we get done, therefore not having to work late into the evening or weekends. If we can make our time in office absolutely as productive as possible, it actually gives us a better work-life balance.
And 56% of adults believe employees who work exclusively in office have a competitive advantage over their fully remote counterparts regarding raises, bonuses, and promotions, according to the American Staffing Association.
Still ahead on the National News Desk, crossing crisis, a border chief's stunning testimony on Capitol Hill about how traffickers are exploiting children on their journey to the United States. Also, comment controversy, a Seattle rapper under fire over something he said at a pro-Palestinian concert. We have that video, plus reaction from fans this morning.
And a potentially devastating strike is on the horizon that could cause major problems for the upcoming holiday season. Next at 97.